Can you guys see how hairy this shirt is? I hope not. I'm back this week with an interesting video. These are all the ways my mom, who was narcissistic and awful, used to manipulate me and my brother, but mainly me, because this is just my account. I can't really speak for him. I can only speak for me. Also, does my hair look fluffy to you guys? I just washed it today, so that's why. It looks different. It looks clean. I don't like it when it's this clean. It just feels too soft and new. I hope you guys can't see all the hair on my shirt, because I couldn't find the lint roller, and I'm too lazy to look. Some of these are pretty simple, like she offered me $20 and then tried to say she didn't offer me any money when she did. I'm not making it up. Why would I make that up? And then it gets more serious because she would threaten to sell my pets. Yeah, like rehome our pets, our childhood pets. Yeah. Sorry if my eyes start watering. I just had a coughing fit that sounded like I had tuberculosis. Anyways, I made a list and we're gonna go from 8 to 1, and these are kind of in order, I guess, sort of. They're in order from bad to shit, bad to more bad. And each thing will correspond with a memory that I have that we'll touch on. So if you're ready, go get your snacks, bip your rung, get a comfy blanket because it's getting chilly out there, and hang out with me because hopefully I talk for at least half an hour. I don't know, I'm gonna try. One way my mom would manipulate me is by making false promises. Usually this would be, hey, here's $20 if you do well. Or hey, if you beat so-and-so in this race, I'll buy you that new video game you want. Usually it was a Sims 3 expansion pack, because I was one of them. I love simulation games. I love cozy games. I also love other games. I'm currently playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm on chapter 6. Speaking of tuberculosis, now you know why I made that joke. If you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2, you should go do it. But my mom would make promises, and then I would fulfill them, and then she would double back on them. I would fulfill my end, and then she would double back on hers. Hey mom, I beat my personal best and I ran in the 12s as an 8th grader for the 2 mile. What do I get? And she'd be like, what do you mean, what do you get? Well, you said you'd take me to Walmart and let me pick out any game that I wanted. Why would I say that? Why would I reward you for doing something you're supposed to do? Trying your best. So I started to take her promises with a grain of salt because you never knew if you were actually going to get them or not. This would also make her mad when she would offer the $20 or offer the game and then I wouldn't take her up on it. I would say, no thanks, not interested. She'd be like, now you're making me look like I'm trying to bribe you or something. And it's like, well, you are trying to bribe me, but I'm not falling for it because your bribes are lies. I feel like I'm making a deal with one of the sharks on Shark Tank. My cut's not fair. I can't remember if there were any times that she would promise my brother things and then not follow through. I feel like maybe promising to let him go places to visit friends and then trying to take that back. She would do that to me a lot. I know it happened to him because I remember there being a night in the living room where he wanted to go to a friend's and my mom was being unfair saying, no, you're not going to your friends because blah, blah, blah. I can't remember exactly what her reasoning was, but it was stupid. It was essentially, I'm in a bad mood, so you don't get to go have fun, child. And I remember speaking up for my brother, like, why can't you just let him go to his friends? You clearly don't want him here. You just said for him to get out of your face, you don't want to look at him. So let him go to his friends so you don't have to look at him. Seems like both parties can get what they want. He ended up going to his friends, I think, but that was just a weird thing. So I know that she would act that way to my brother. Promise things and take him away, or just try to take things away. That was just something my mom liked to do. You could come home from school and she had a bad day at work, so your computer's missing or your Xbox is gone. You don't know. Terrible way to grow up. Horrible way to live. It's not fair to come home and not know if my outlet to, dissociate from my hard day might not be there, but my mom always gets hers. Like, nobody takes away her computer or her phone. I didn't think that was fair, okay? Number 7 is when she would threaten not to support me in things. Not to buy me things that I need anymore or not to show up for me. Because she would, that is something I'll give my mom. She would show up to everything, but a lot of the time it's just because that's a part of parenting that she liked. She liked to go to the events and be a part of stuff because it made her feel a part of society, like she was blending in, fitting in. My mom struggles to fit in throughout her whole life, so I feel like when she got to be a football mom or a track mom, that gave her a sense of identity, and it just made it better if my brother and I were performing well, because then she gets to post our accolades on Facebook, which is why she would get so frustrated when I wouldn't win, because then she'd have to read another parent write about their child getting first or their child beating a new school record, and when it wasn't her that got to do that, it made her jealous. So then she would punish us, aka me, and I know that my brother had to have went through something similar. I just can't speak for him because I wasn't conscious for some of his experience, okay? We're 5 years apart. I remember not wanting to do running anymore. I just wanted to do track, not cross country, and my mom was like, if you don't do cross country, I'm not going to show up at track. I won't come to any of your meets. But honestly, I was at a point where I didn't really know if I wanted her there. Like, I might actually do better without you there, considering your pressure is not positive pressure, it's bad pressure. So I didn't actually mind that as much, but she would be like, well, I'm not going to give you any money to buy shirts from any of the meets, so all of your friends are going to have new t-shirts from all the meets for senior year, and you won't have any for your senior year, or I'm not going to buy you you new spikes or new running shoes for this season. You can just use your old ones since you're such an embarrassment to me. My mom did not want me to not run my senior year, which, okay, I can understand why you would want me to do senior year because there's a lot of things that come with that. A lot of attention my mom would get. The banquets, senior night, you know. My picture would be up on the cafeteria wall. My mom was like, don't you want your picture on the cafeteria wall? Better do it senior year or I'm not going to support you in this, this, and this. My mom literally said she wouldn't come to my college signing if I didn't do cross country that fall, which I don't even think my coach cared if I did cross country that fall, as long as I did track. She ended up not going to my college signing because they got divorced between there. Yeah, the domestic violence thing happened, so she didn't come to that anyway. My mom would basically threaten to take away her love or her presence. If you don't do blank for me, then I'm not going to show up for you. I'm not going to be there for you. I'm not going to love you as much. And that's damaging as a kid because your parent should be the one person you can count on, right? I swear I look like a coconut head today. Just deal with it, guys. I'm coping. And I just think that's so messed up. I should not have to be perfect all the time for my mom to love me. Number 6 is my mom would threaten to give my stuff away if I didn't obey her, if I didn't stop doing whatever was annoying her, or if I didn't get my grade up, then she would take something away. She's going to take my books that I love and sell them. She's going to take away my computer and donate it to charity or take it to Granny's down the street and leave it at her house so that I can't have it. Things like that. The punishment was never worthy of the crime. Like, it would be as simple as, you and your brother are annoying me today, therefore I'm going to take something from you. And it's just a normal sibling thing, like fighting over the remote, over what's going to be played on the TV. My mom would just have really ridiculous reactions to very normal stuff. My mom would spank, but another way she would control us is just by threatening to take our toys away. You're not gonna have this anymore because this is a privilege and I can take it away. And it's like, how about you get on our level and talk to us? And also, as far as being a motivator for sports, how is that gonna help me run better? My body doesn't always feel great every meet. In fact, I could literally be on my period that week. So for 2 meets out of the week, whatever season you're talking about, cross country or track, I don't feel well. It's harder for me to run well. My body is different than a man's. I'm speaking of myself growing up as a cis girl. That's how I was raised socially. I was born as a woman. So this was my experience. Like, literally, there's 2 weeks out of the month where my body just feels like crap, and that's just how it is. Guys don't have to deal with that. Not to mention, as you become a junior, senior, your body changes and your hips widen, and that can make it harder to run too. And I feel like I was dealing with that more than anybody else because I always had such a curvy shape, and everybody else around me was so thin. That was always pointed out to me by my mom, by my coaches, and by the kids themselves. I'm dealing with all of this, understanding that my body's not as fast as it used to be, and having to work harder to navigate that. And then I have this pressure at home. If I don't make this work, if I don't make my terrible body run fast today, I could go home and not have my outlet, which is talking to my friends online or passing time on a video game. No, I could have none of that. It might not be there if I don't perform exactly how Linda wants. And it's so manipulative. There's no way I could have ever been great under those conditions. Number 5 is kind of like what number 6 was, but it was specifically when she turned my phone off for 4 months. She turned my phone off so long that I lost the phone number. When it got turned on again, it had to be a completely different number. And that happened to me on 2 or 3 different occasions where I had to tell people I got a new number because my mom just turned it off again. That was a common thing in my friend group. Oh, how come Jess hasn't answered? Well, Jess's mom must have turned off their phone again. The longest I ever went without my phone was 9 months. And I don't even know what I did. I couldn't tell you what I did. I just know that I didn't have my phone for 9 months. And then my mom finally turned it on. And that was really boring going to meets. Like, I felt like I was an old Victorian child on the bus because all I had to do was read. Sometimes if I was lucky, I would use a VPN at school to download some music or a YouTube video or an episode of Vampire Diaries on Netflix. If I didn't have the storage on my phone or if I didn't have time, I would just read a book or study because there was nothing else to do. Everybody else had their phones on the 2-hour trip, but not me. As if that's gonna help me focus, not being able to listen to music like everybody else and get in the zone. I ended up just downloading all my songs. Took a heckin' chunk of memory out of my phone, but it was worth it to have some tunes on the way to get in the zone to run. But I just will never forget that, not having my phone for 9 months one time, 4 months another time, and then all the other times it would be like for a few weeks. It was just annoying. I could be sitting at school and all of a sudden I can't send a text or I can't look up a definition in English class and I don't know why. And I'm like, oh, guess my mom turned off my phone again. Wonder what it was this time. Could she not find the hairbrush? And now that's my fault, so my phone gets turned off? I don't know. Number 4 is where it starts to get more messed up because this is when she threatened to rehome our childhood dog. Yeah, I wasn't performing well junior year, and she took it out on the childhood dog. She was yelling at me and yelling at my dad, and she grabbed the dog by the collar to displace her anger and threw Maggie out the back door, and it was freezing cold, okay? And she threw Maggie, our dog, outside. Now, Maggie was a Great Pyrenees, but still, like, why are you grabbing the dog so roughly and throwing her outside? And then my mom was like, I'm sick of the dog. I'm sick of cleaning up after the dog. You know, you're an embarrassment. I don't even want to deal with the dog. I'm the one that takes care of the dog. I feed the dog. I let the dog out, which that isn't I'm pretty sure my dad would do that, but that's besides the point. I'm sick of cleaning up after the dog's hair. You're an embarrassment to me. I'm done with this. The dog can go live somewhere else. The dog can stay outside. And it's like, no, you're not kicking the dog out just because you're having a conniption fit. And this is something she did to our cat Buttercup too. She threw my childhood cat outside because it started going outside the litter box, when actually it didn't start going outside the litter box until the cat was declawed. So that's something that cats do when they get declawed, is they'll start going outside the litter box. My mom blamed the cat for that, even though it was you that got her declawed. Instead of, you know, getting her a cat tree or trying to train her out of clawing the couch, you go to that method, which is literally removing parts of the cat's bone, which makes it uncomfortable to now dig in their litter box. It hurts, which is why they'll sometimes go outside of the litter box on a rug or in a carpet. My mom did that to the cat, but my mom blames the cat for it, and me. Oh, you just don't clean her litter box enough. Well, A, that's your job, and B, you never asked me to, because that's usually your job, so why would I have known that you suddenly quit cleaning it? But that's not why my cat was going outside the litter box anyway. That didn't stop my mom from throwing her outside, though. My mom threw the cat outside after declawing it, and it couldn't fend for itself, and it was dead by 7 years old. That cat lived 5 years of its life in the house, got declawed, started going outside the box, and then was tossed out to fend for itself for 2 years until it died in my arms. Most traumatic thing ever. My dad couldn't afford to take her to the vet. I'm pretty sure she died of anemia. That's why whenever my pets seem slightly off, I take them to the vet, even if it hurts my wallet, because I will never go through that again. I would have got out a credit card to save my child's pet, and my dad let that pet die in my arms. He's in a hole in the ground, so I can't yell at him, so this is for him. You could have spared $100 to take my cat to the vet and get the fluids she needs. But yeah, my mom would threaten to throw Maggie out, and then she kept going on. Every time I would bring Maggie back in, she would grab Maggie again and throw her back out. And the last time, I put myself between the dog and my mom, and I said, you come near her again, I'm gonna push you. And I guess I looked unhinged enough at 16 for her to leave me alone and the dog. But she did say, you just wait, you go to school and come back, she might be gone. And my dad was like, don't worry, Jess, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm not gonna let her take your dog away and drop it off somewhere. But my mom really would threaten that I'm gonna take her and drop her off down the road, which is really funny that you would say that about Maggie. And then later on, when they were getting the divorce, she tried to claim at the courts that the dog was hers and she wanted her dog Maggie back. It's like, no, you treated that dog like crap, and that dog was a gift for me for Christmas in 2011, so no, you're not getting the dog. The dog deserves better, quite frankly. Number 3 is something she would do a lot, and it's called, I won't let you see blank again. This is, oh, if you don't do pageants, you're not going to see your friend Kaylee again, because we only see Kaylee at pageants anyway. That's how we met her. So if you don't want to do pageants anymore, that's fine, but you're never going to see your best friend again. So you better do this pageant for me. And by gosh, I would do the pageant, because that's my best friend, okay? I'm a neurodivergent kid. I don't got many of those. So I don't want to not see this one again that I love. Hello, girl. Hey, girl. I don't know if she watches these. I kept doing pageants because I didn't want to not see Kaylee again or my other pageant friends. Another way that my mom would control me via friends is by, if you don't practice, you're not going to get to do this fun thing. I remember not being allowed to go to a lake party with my brother to my friend's grandpa's lake and have a fun lake day because my mom said I didn't practice long enough earlier, which I thought was crap because I never got invited anywhere by this friend. Like, it was very rare that they had time, so I was super excited to be included, to be asked, and then my mom didn't let me go. And now, instead of having a fun memory of a lake day from 2nd grade with that friend, I don't have a memory at all. I just remember crying and then having to practice anyway. And I remember even telling my mom, please let me go, I promise I'll practice afterwards. And my mom's like, nope, you should have practiced earlier. Yeah, if you want me to practice and do good at the pageant, maybe don't take away my fun, because that fun is the distraction I need from all the practicing. The practicing isn't fun for me. I don't know if that's fun for any of the pageant girls, but it especially wasn't fun for me. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to enjoy my days off from school in my free time, not practice and put on heels and the skimpy clothes. I didn't want to do that. Sorry. There was a time where I didn't run well, and it was a whole fight between my parents on whether or not I could still have a sleepover with my friends. And it's like, I'm 17 years old. It was okay for me to sleep over before the race. All I did at the race was get second, not first. Sorry I lost to my teammate. She's skinnier, smaller, faster than me, and the coach was backing her, supportive of her. I wasn't experiencing that at the moment because everyone had kind of given up on me because I'd given up on myself, because who wouldn't with a mom like that? I'm sorry that I got second, but how come getting second is so bad, Abby Lee Miller? Is second the first to lose or something to you too, Linda, because now I can't go hang out with my friends because I didn't win? Oh my god. My mom would literally say stuff like that. It is embarrassing to get second. You don't see them hanging up the tape at the finish line for the second guy, do you? It's just the first guy. day. And it's like, my mom, dude. The second form of motivator is the good old stuff and garbage bag thrown out on porch. You ever just come home from school and you see all of your clothes and your blankies and your stuffies and trash bags on the back porch? No, just me? Yeah, that's happened before. It wasn't all of my room. It was just some of my stuff. But my mom said, you see that? That's what's gonna happen to your whole room if you don't stop embarrassing me. AKA run better. I'm so sorry that I get second a lot. I'm so sorry that I got a personal record and I ran the fastest I ever did in a mile that day. But it didn't matter to you because the other girl also got a personal best and it happened to be faster than me. Sue me. Why are you comparing me to everybody else? Be happy for me? Nope, she wasn't. She put my stuff in trash bags. Cause that's a motivator. Love that. I remember having to carry it all back into my room and dump it out and put it back where it was, and there would always be stuff missing, usually just money. Any coins that I had saved up, she'd always steal. When she'd go through my room and take stuff, she'd always steal shit. I remember this one time she ripped up all of my quotes off the wall, all of my inspirational quotes that I just made. My coach told us, hey, make some inspirational quotes and hang them on your wall. You can look at them every day as a reminder to help you visualize and work towards your goal. You know, it's a motivator. Well, I came home to find those all ripped up in pieces on the floor and my $40 in change stolen. Thanks, Mom. I'm trying to remember if my brother had any of his stuff thrown in trash bags too. I'm sure it happened. I know my dad used to have stuff thrown outside. This one time she threw a piece of his coffee maker in the closet and the top half, the glass pot, out in the creek in the woods. And it took us several months to find both of those parts and put them back together. I remember finding the coffee pot base in the closet and then looking around for the rest of it and it wasn't there. And it's like, did she really put these in separate places just to make it harder to find? Yes, she did. It was really funny after we found it. My dad had already spent $50 on another coffee pot, so it was too late for us, and it was pretty water damaged. But that's the type of level my mom would go. This one time, she waited until The Conjuring was at the best part to flip the breaker and ruin the movie for us. We thought that her threats were just fake or that she forgot, because she kept saying she was going to flip the breaker so that we couldn't enjoy the movie, and then it never happened. Well, she was waiting for the best part, because right when that lady got levitated into the air, everything went black, which was kind of scary timing, but we knew it was just her flipping the breaker. What crazy level of awfulness do you have to be to wait till the best part of The Conjuring and then turn the lights off? What a hater. Finally, at number 1 is we have pulling my hair. If I told my mom just 1 second and she was in a bad mood, she'd grab me by the back of the hair and yank me down the hallway or across the hallway into the bathroom. Whatever it was, if she wanted to practice putting rollers on my hair, or if it was time to practice and I didn't want to, she would get physical with you. And if it wasn't grabbing you by the arm, it was grabbing you by the hair, or it was you'd get spanked. I remember one time I was so scared of her, can't remember why, but she chased me down the hallway into my room and I dove next to my bed and tried to crawl under it, but she grabbed me by the ankles and yanked me out and started wailing on my backside. And I couldn't tell you what I did, but I can tell you the fear I felt at 5 years old. How terrified must I have been of my own mom to dive like that, to dive on my belly, to try to get under the bed. I knew I was in danger. Like I was gonna be physically harmed over what? Probably nothing. My mom would always interpret my autistic bluntness and lack of putting empathy over my words as me being rude or sassy or disrespectful. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you want more like this where I go through lists and I tell you different things from childhood, please let me know. This is probably going to be a Friday at 3, but if it's Saturday at noon, then that's okay. If you really want to see my shirt, this one is just a leaf and it says addicted on it instead of Adidas, and it probably is covered in dog hair, but I really don't care at this point because we filmed the whole thing anyway. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below, tell me what you thought. Anyway, and see you next week, and bye!